So, welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing, and with me now, British middleweight champion, Denzel Bentley. How you doing, Denz?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, really good, mate. Glad you could come on. Really
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, really chuffed, mate. It's as I say, we were just having a chat about, boxing's on the up again.
Yeah,
Lots of great fights to look forward to, isn't there? And you got Okolie next week, and then
yeah.
Dillian White the week after, and then it just keeps going, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
exciting
it's good.
time.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Because last week there was no boxing and it just felt like it was a waste of a weekend.
Yeah,
But now everything's coming back. It's piling up again and I'm looking forward to all the shows. I'm going to be tuning into all of them.
yeah. Are you a fan of boxing as well? Because I've spoken to boxers before, and they turn around and they say, "Oh no, I don't really watch it," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, I find that mad.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of boxing. I love boxing. I love watching it. I love taking part in it. I love boxing. That's me. All these fights, I'm gonna be tuned in. I'm not just watching it because I feel like, oh, big fight. Nah, there's boxing on. I'm gonna see what's going on. See you too. I watch boxing. I love boxing. I'm a fan.
yeah. My wife's kind of a boxing widow now. It's like I'm every weekend I'm doing like a live watch along or doing something. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
It's probably been, even though this past year has been really tough, isn't it? With the lockdown situation, but it's made fights happen that we possibly wouldn't have seen.
yeah. That's true. 100%. 100%. It's made a lot of fights happen that probably wouldn't have happened if circumstances hadn't changed. And it's good for the fans. Not so good for all the fighters because some of them are coming up on the wrong side of those decisions. But at the same time, you gain experience from it. You move on. But I feel like with the crowd and stuff, some fighters were just trying to, slide their way through a few easy fights, maybe because they have a big following, sell a lot of tickets and slide their way around some easy fights to get to the top. But now everyone's being kind of forced to step up. And if you don't step up, you don't fight. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, no money in the bank, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
pretty much that at the moment, isn't it? It's
yeah, literally.
take it or leave it. And people have been saying, I'll wait for it to blow over. Well, I don't know how long you're going to be waiting.
Exactly. Because last year, crowd came back and it went again. So don't know how long you'd be waiting for. Some fighters could sit out the whole of this year as well. So that would be 2 years no fighting, and then it's really going to get hard. So you have to sort of just be ready to jump in there.
Yeah, no, 100%. So Denzel, where did boxing start for you, mate? When did it come into your life?
When I was like 15, but that's not when I started. When I was 15, my brother bought like a set of gloves and headguard, and we used to box each other in the area and stuff. But we didn't really know nothing about boxing apart from it was the fighting sport. Then a few years later, when I went to college, I met a friend that boxed, and then he introduced me, took me to his gym and all that stuff. And that's when I started when I was about 17, 18. By 18, and then I had my first amateur fight at 19. And then from there, I just carried on,
So how did you get on in the amateurs?
I didn't have a long, I was amateur for like 3 years, had 17 fights, won 13. And at the end of the day, I just thought, I think I want to turn over. But at the same time, I was at the Peacock gym where I'm at now for about a year and a half, maybe, before I actually decided that I wanted to turn pro. So when I was an amateur, I was boxing as an amateur and I was still going up Peacock every Monday, Wednesday, Fridays to spar. Some days I go there and some of the training days like Tuesdays and train with them and, was becoming a member of the team. So I was getting that experience as a fighter. That's why I didn't feel like I was rushing when I made that decision to turn over, even with the lack of experience as an amateur.
Yeah. So you could sort of bed yourself in at the gym before making that decision and get used to, how the way things are run. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, doesn't it? And looking at your career, like you've had 15 fights up to this point, 14 wins,
Yeah.
one draw. We won't talk about that. But, well, as I say, that was a big part, wasn't it? We talk about the draw, behind closed doors as well, wasn't it? In September
Yeah.
last year?
Yeah.
How was that? Was it strange? Because you've obviously gone from, all the crowds, and then all of a sudden it's gone back to almost like an amateur feel, wasn't it? Where there's not too many people about, and
Yeah. I had a fight. Was it June or July? It might have been July. I think it was July. So I'd already, boxing behind closed doors circumstances before, so it wasn't too bad. But at the end of the day, I came up in the small show circuit. So I was boxing on small shows and dinner shows where there wasn't much people there anyway, especially in the dinner shows. So fighting behind closed doors wasn't too odd for me. And even when I did eventually get signed to Frank, I wasn't fighting in a prime slot. Maybe once when I was afloat and I came on and I fought, at a really busy time. Other than that, I'd be on early and all that stuff. So it didn't really affect me because every time I box, apart from everyone that's there for me, the whole arena hasn't been there for me. So it was one of those ones where after the first time it was okay, this is what we're doing. So now it's not something that it's not something that bothers me. That some people say it feels like sparring, or at the time they're saying it feels like sparring or this and that. I feel like they were just trying to read too much into it. To me, I still knew that whoever I'm fighting is going to take my head off. And whether it's a spar or not, you're not taking my head off. So I'm going to go in there and perform. So that's how I saw it every time.
yeah. No, I think that's how you got to look at it. Because like the people that have been saying, "Oh, I look at it as a bit of a sparring session." If you're going in thinking it's a sparring session, it's not going to work out for you, is it?
It's not going to work out exactly. It's not going to work out for you. Yeah, exactly.
It's not good at all. But you got the draw. To be fair, mate, you were hard done by. It was one of those results. But as you say, you take the draw, and then you had the rematch, didn't you? I think it was not long after, was it? November sort of time.
Yeah, November. Yeah, November. Yeah.
Mate, it's been ages since then. But you took it in November, which, to be fair, that's a pretty quick turnaround. But then I suppose you've learned from that fight because, the same opponent, you kind of figure out game plan and that sort of thing. Did you feel he approached the fight in the same sort of way?
No. What do you mean, like just on fight night or training wise?
Like on fight night, did you feel that when he came out, did you feel he sort of approached the fight the same as the last one?
Yeah, he did. That's exactly what he done, because he thought I was going to approach it the same, and that was his big mistake. It's like, listen, no two fighters the same. Like, his big mistake was he didn't learn from that fight.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to turn around so quick, because I knew he wouldn't learn from that fight. So that's why when they said, I said, yes, I'm back in the gym. I want it straight away. Like, let's have it. And he was on it. He wanted it straight away. But they thought I was going to come out and do the same thing. In the first fight, I had a step up before that and Mick Cool, but first real step up, fighting someone that's fought for the British. Everyone's talking about his power. Oh, the power stuff is different. I'm saying, okay, I don't really know about this. So I take my time and try and, see what it's about. So I was a bit wary of his power at first. And then he caught me with that shot in the night round, and I thought, you hit me the best shot. You couldn't take me out when I was, my tank was half full. You know what I'm trying to say? So if you can't take me out, then you've hit me with the best shot. There's nothing you can do to me. So in the second fight, I approached it different, mentally and physically, knowing what I wanted to do, correcting my mistakes, watching the fight over and over again, not being deluded with the fact that I know I lost a couple of rounds. I knew I lost a couple of rounds, and I knew I let some rounds go. But I went in there the next fight knowing that, okay, I'm not going to do this. That's what lost me that round. I'm not going to do that. This looked bad. That looked bad. This looked bad. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold my feet a bit more. I'm going to stiffen up my shots, and I'm going to make him feel my power, because I didn't do that in the first fight. And in the second fight, I done that, and the difference showed.
Yeah, just the mind boggles really as to why he would approach the rematch in the same frame of mind and with the same sort of strategy when you think it didn't work. So you kind of you go back to the drawing board, wouldn't you, and try different stuff like you did, and then you come out and bloody hell, your jab was just ridiculous. The way you were, it's such a snap jab that you've got, but it goes in so much power, and then you're out. You move in and out so well, and your footwork's so good. His eye, it was just blown up quicker than. There's nothing he could do.
Yeah, there's nothing he could do. I guess in his mind, he didn't do anything wrong, and that's why he didn't change anything. He thought do the same thing but with more intensity. That's probably what he thought. And I knew that just by the way he was talking, the post he was making and the socials. I felt like in the interviews he was having, and I just knew you're gonna come and do the same thing again. But we'll see in it. And obviously we saw by the end of the day, they're still making excuses on that side. It's none of my business. It's what it is. That fight's done. That chapter's done. I'm moving on.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was a good fight. It was a good fight. I learned from it, and I learned from that fight for future fights as well, not just for the rematch, for future fights. What works and what don't look good, what does look good. What the judges respect and what they don't, what they see as effective and what they don't see as effective. So I just got to fight to my strengths, play to my strengths. Do what I do well. I always try to work on my footwork and stuff like that, but I just got to keep improving. And I think I've improved mentally after that fight as well, not just physically. I feel like I'm getting better every day anyway, but there's that little mental aspect of it that I didn't really acknowledge until after those two fights. Like after those two fights, and my mentality, it sort of just changed without me forcing it to change. I just you get in the gym and you think, I'm a champion. Everyone that comes in here is going to try to take my head off. I better be on my A game. Do you know what I mean? And it's different. It improves you in every aspect. You train harder. You start thinking better. You start taking things a little bit more seriously than you were before. And I think that's what's happening now. And that's why I feel like I'm ready for, all these challenges that are coming.
Yeah. No, what an achievement as well. British middleweight champion. A lot of people, really hold that belt close, don't they? That's a big milestone for someone, and it's something they really want to hold on to. Like I was saying to you before I came on, I was speaking to Wayne Alexander, and he followed the sort of route, where you the British, the European, you get the world, you follow that pattern, and a lot of people don't do it these days, do they? It's all about just progressing to try and hit that world as soon as you can. But the British, to me, is prestigious. That's a major thing. And he said you're a top guy and you're going to do big things. And
I appreciate that.
Oh mate, he's
much love to Devin to Wayne Alexander. I almost said Devin Alexander. I'm bugging. Wayne Alexander. I'm sorry about that.
Shout out to the right person, mate.
I watch too much boxing. That's why everything just no. Shout out to Wayne Alexander, man. I appreciate that.
But no, it's I think even he said it doesn't hold that prestige like it used to, and it's a shame because people almost leapfrog it because they think, I just want to get the worlds. Where he said the British is important. It needs to keep its.
No, it is, and I feel like not just like, of course, it's a prestigious belt, and obviously the importance of it, like being a champion of where you're from, like being a champion of a country. You know what I'm trying to say? I think that's very important. But at the same time, I feel like these international and intercontinental titles have messed up the game a little bit. It's easy to fight someone, a foreigner for a European or an interim or international intercontinental championship belt. They have a good record, but from wherever they're from, fighting nobody, and you beat them up. But I feel like with the British as well, taking that route, you're fighting, top fighters in Britain that could compete at world level, were good amateurs, have done everything that was asked of them in the game. And I feel like when you skip that level, you're missing out on key experience. You're missing out on experience. That's my thought process on it. I feel like when you go the international route or the European titles and that, not the EBU, but like, the other European titles and that, and international and continentals and that, you're missing out on some key experience because you're skipping, certain fights to get to the top. And then when you get there, it will end up being harder than you probably expected it would be because you got there so easily. I feel like going through the British route, fighting the mandatories and then moving on to European and then world level, you get that experience of, hard, tough fights, mentally and physically, because a fight could be tough. Physically, you got to draw it out, but mentally, in the gym, you're training because this is going to be a tough fight. Like when I was fighting Mark Heffron, mentally in my mind, I'm like, I know it's going to be a tough fight. I better be on my A game. Whereas if I was fighting for like a, intercontinental or international title, not disrespecting, they're still titles. You get me? I'd love to win one of those. But if you was to fight one of those against a foreigner, you just be like, oh, I got my first title shot, rather than, this fight is, my career depends on it, kind of mindset. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. But yeah, and that's how I feel. I feel like you miss out on that key experience. But listen, each to their own. Some people have gone that route. And the one person I've said this before that I rate a lot in this game right now is Lawrence Okolie. I feel like his mindset's his biggest aspect because his first title was the WBA Intercontinental. He could have carried on trying to build his ranking in the WBA and got a world title earlier or tried to have.
Yeah.
He went and got the British, went and got the Commonwealth, went and got the European, and now he's fighting for the world. That's a lot of experience there that he sucked up. He fought Isaac Chamberlain, which is my mate. I ain't gonna lie, I want him to win that fight, but it is what it is. And then he fought Matty Askins.
Yeah.
And then he fought Waddy Camacho. He fought Luke Watkins. Luke Watkins fought Waddy Camacho, which I thought he'd be Waddy Camacho anyway. But Luke Watkins might have been tougher, even though he made it easy. That might have been a tougher fight in my eyes. And then he went on to fight I'm not sure if he's French, but the short black guy. I don't know his name. He was training with Ingles at Sheffield for the European title.
Oh mate.
He was undefeated.
But I know you mean.
Yeah, he was undefeated as well, and he ended up knocking him. Like all those fights, mentally in the gym, even though he knocked them out, apart from asking, mentally in his mind in the gym, he's preparing for war. I'm taking this. In his mind, I'm taking this. Like, this is me. I feel like when you're fighting for these titles, as they call them in boxing, Mickey Mouse titles, I respect them. But I can't bother to keep saying it, and all that. But you don't. Yeah. Like you don't kind of mentally switch on. You don't get to switch on that mentally because you're fighting someone you know nothing about. They're no threat to you. But when you go this route, I feel like the threats are there, and mentally you switch on and prepare for what it is.
Yeah.
You're preparing for. Yeah.
Yeah, I've spoken to like heavyweight ex-world champion, and he turned around and he said, "Oh, I won the WBA regular heavyweight title," and people turned around and went, "But it ain't a."
The world title,
really a proper one, and it's like, hang on, give him some credit though. Do you know what I mean? He's won a heavyweight title. It's like, what's he got to do? You can only get what's in front of you, and like you were saying about Lawrence Okolie. I like Lawrence. Awkward as you like, he's one of those fighters that he'll put it on you. He's just one of those guys. He's slick in how he does it, but he don't care how he wins. If it's messy,
you don't care how he wins.
You get a win.
Yeah, exactly. And then you move on.
Yeah. He's got a tough fight this Saturday. Against Milwaukee. That's a tough fight. But I think Lawrence.
And that's why I respect him. I think he'll win as well. And that's why I respect what he's doing, because he's not looking for easy fights. He's not looking for a vacant world title to nick off some other guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's going in there. And he's asking for these fights because he knows it's going to benefit him in the long run. He knows, like he's gained the experience getting through Askins, Watkins, and the guy with the EBU title. Like, where else do you go? Like, who else do you fight? And even Isaac in his early fights, I think he had 7 fights at the time. Like, all of these fights, 10, 12 round fights. He's training for 10, 12 round fights all the time. Whether it goes the distance or not, doesn't matter. He's training for these fights. He's preparing for it. So now he's feeling like, I've done everything. I've won the European. Like, that's the last stage before the world. I'm ready for this. So mentally, he's going to be so confident. But also mentally, he's going to be grinding hard. And I respect that. Some people want an easy ride to the top, which is cool. If you can get it, go for it. But if he wins this, which I hope he does,
I think
he's a G. I think he's man. He's done it. He's done it the right way.
Mate,
in I think 16 fights as well.
He's the source, mate.
Yeah, no, I got to give it to him. I got to give it to him. I don't want to sound like I'm riding him, but I got to give it to him. I got to give it to him.
No.
Yeah.
So, what's happening with you next then, Denz? As we know, we had a bit of a, Frank dropped a bit of a one the other day. I think before you even knew.
Yeah. Me and Felix Cash for the British and Commonwealth titles in April. So that's gonna be a good fight as well. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait, man.
So when do you sort of start your training camp, or are you already in?
Been in training camp. I've been in training camp. The way we do it up the Peacock, we train all year round. We don't do the stop-start camp stuff. It's all year round. So we're ready every time. So now, like, all it is just getting in the right preparation. I'm already training. I'm already going to be in shape. It's just getting the right preparation for, the fight that's coming up.
Yeah. Honestly, mate, it's going to be a cracker. There's fights you look forward to, and that's one that's got the ingredients. When you look at both fighters, you think there could be fireworks in that fight. You know, I'm obviously going with you, mate, because you know. So, but no, I was talking to you before we came on, and you know, I like what you do anyway. The way you fight, it's exciting, and you know, you wear your heart on your sleeve and you grind. You put yourself out there, and that's why you're British champion. You know, that's how it is. So, you know, yeah, I can't wait for it to happen, mate. I think it's going to be a great fight. So, yeah, bring it on, basically, isn't it?
Hang on, that's it, man.
So before I you know, before you run off, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Dillian White versus Povetkin. How do you see it?
It's a good fight, man. It's a good fight. It's a scary fight. It's a scary fight. Of course, I'm rooting for Dylan, but I just feel like it's still dangerous. It's still dangerous, man. I hope if he goes in there with the same mindset of, oh, he was a lucky shot. Not that. He didn't go in there with that mindset. But I mean, like, if he goes in there with the same mindset, like, oh, Povetkin can't be. I've got this in the bag. You know what I'm saying? All I've got to do is do my thing. Then it could end bad again. But
thing, wasn't it? I got caught, you know, and
yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I got caught. If he goes in with that kind, he needs to be switched on, and I don't doubt he's training hard. I think you'll write that wrong, but it's dangerous. I think he needs to be switched on mentally. He shouldn't just think, oh, as long as I don't get caught, it's all right. Because at some point, Povetkin's going to land a shot.
Yeah, and he's got some power punches, Povetkin, isn't
he? Yeah, exactly. But Povetkin is knock him out, he's knocking you out. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah, he's got to be careful with that one. But I'm rooting for Dylan. I'm going to go Dylan for that one.
And last one, the one that everyone's talking about, whether we know it's actually going to happen or not, we still don't know on signatures and all that sort of thing. AJ Fury, they were talking about it on TalkSport, I think, a couple of days ago. That because it's coming down to all different things behind the scenes and all this sort of thing, and that it could be November now. Which I don't know how that's a long layoff for Fury.
That's a long way.
That's a long layoff for both of them. But, you know, hopefully they said they're still looking at June because it depends where they can have the fight. I can't see it being here, to be honest. I think it's going to go out Saudi Arabia, Asia, out that way because, you know, you can get the fans in the door. You can get, you know, bums on seats, you know, it's all money, isn't it? It's all around money. So how do you see that one going?
Good fight, man. I think AJ has to knock out Fury to win. But I think Fury can obviously win on points. And if he presses it, he's a very big guy. He can probably stop AJ. We've seen AJ been stopped before, so it's not something out of the blue. So I think Fury's got more ways to win. But it's a good fight either way. I think they could both win it. I just feel like AJ has to knock out Fury. But then again, saying that, I've seen Fury hurt, but not knocked out. It's techie. It's mad. I can't. I'm an AJ fan, innit? I've been an AJ fan from, you know, when he was coming up. Like before, I was a Fury fan, but I do really like Fury. So in that fight, I'll be, you know, I'm slightly leaning more towards AJ.
You can't sit on the fence, mate. You can't sit on the fence.
I'm trying not to. I'd slightly, you know, side more towards AJ because I felt like watching AJ come through the stages. I've liked him, and with Fury, I've just grown to like him recently. So I'm excited of AJ, but I think Fury is the better boxer. So I probably think I think Fury has a better chance to win, and I think Fury has a better chance to win than AJ. That's it.
So you're going
Fury has a better chance to win than AJ. My mind's telling me, my mind says Fury, my heart says AJ, but sometimes, you know, you gotta think smart. If you look at their boxing styles and, you know, their careers, you know, you could pick which one's number one based on, you know, the style or who has the better resume, not the best wins, but just the better resume of fighters, and which I think AJ does. I think Fury has the best wins, but AJ has the better resume. But I just feel like if you watch boxing, look at boxing, you know Fury's a class fighter, and you know he can box, he can put it on you, and he has more of a chance of winning. So if I'm being smart, I'm going to say Fury. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm an AJ guy.
You look at that last fight when he boxed Wilder in the second one, and beat him up. He beat him up like big time. And he said he was going to do it, and everyone was like, oh, he can't do it. He boxes on the back
Even me.
foot. He uses his weight.
The thing is, I wasn't even thinking he can't do it. I just thought in my mind, he's not going to do it. Like, I was thinking, in my mind, I'm thinking,
it's too much of a
not
risk.
Done. He's just saying that. He's just not, exactly. I said, he's not going to do that. Why would he do that? Because if he gets caught, you see, I just said he's not going to do it. I said he's just talking. And he shut everybody up.
Mate,
you can't go against Fury. That's what I'm saying. You can't go against Fury because like he is the best heavyweight out there right now. Like just skill wise and just everything to his advantage. He's bigger. Can't really say stronger, but he's bigger. He's heavier, slicker, better jab, better movement.
And
as we've seen, he can do both.
That's the thing.
He uses the weight exactly.
That weight. When he's pressing you, he's proper laying into you, and he's he's just such a physical presence, and he towers, doesn't he? But it's going to be a cracker, mate. When it happens, I really hope it does. I really hope it does.
I'm sitting down just as a fan of everyone, and I'm just watching it. I'm not rooting for anyone. I'm not going to be upset if anyone wins or loses. I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is. I think that's all you can do with that fight.
Mate, I'm going to be texting you on the day.
I'll be in between rounds. While on the rounds, you're not getting me. In between, you got a minute to get out. Yo, let's go.
Yeah. Here we go like that. Oh, it's Joel again. Just like
so you got a minute, on the break. Seconds up, put the phone down. And I finish the sentence, done.
My mate turns his phone off. I
don't blame him. He
won't have anyone like he's or it's under his leg. He's like, no, I'm not having it. And it's so funny because you try and do it just to wind him up, but he ain't having it. But honestly, it's Denzel, real, pleasure to have you on, mate. And British middleweight champion. You just like hearing it. It's great. It's great, though. You've achieved it.
Thank you.
Have you got to defend it 3 times to have it out?
To keep it, yeah.
So is that the plan?
I'd love for it to be the plan, but who knows what's going on nowadays? Anything can happen. Things can pop up, but if there's nothing bigger and better coming along, I'm not just going to vacate it and then sit down and worry about where can I move. I'm going to keep active, and if there's nothing, like I said, nothing bigger and better coming along, then I'm going to defend it. But something bigger comes along, then I'll have to weigh up my options and speak to the team and decide what way we're going and if it makes sense and you know what I'm saying, if the risk is worth it, kind of thing. So yeah.
And you'll have a Commonwealth soon as well. So
exactly, have 2.
You've got to start putting some shelves up and stuff, mate. You got to.
No minute. start setting up from now.
Yeah, get a cabinet. It's all happening, man. But no, honestly, I really appreciate your time. I know you've been busy the last couple of days, and you didn't even know you were going to be busy, but you've been busy.
Life comes at you fast, man. Life comes at you fast.
Oh, I know, mate. I know. But I really appreciate your time, and thanks for coming on, mate. And honestly, I wish you all the best. As I say, that's going to be a cracking fight, and we should hear. Well, this week.
Yeah.
Officially.
Officially. Yeah.
No, thanks for coming on, Denzel. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
All right, nice one. Take care.
Yeah, and you. Take care, mate.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Well, Denzel Bentley.
Yes.
Absolute gent. And I as I say, wish you all the best, mate. And it's gonna be a cracker going forward. And just to watch you on your journey, moving through the division, it's a cracking division, and I just think you're going places, mate. You've got the right attitude, you've got the right mindset, and as I say, you fight with your heart on your sleeve, and you don't stop until the bell's rung or it's over. So, you're going to
appreciate it.
Far, mate. You keep it up.
Cheers, nice one. Thank you.
You've been on JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.